the Andrastians' rights. Brother Burkle resisted and was slain while being arrested during a peaceful demonstration in the Commons. The Assembly claimed this was an accident, but news of the resulting riots reached the Chantry on the surface, where the Divine even contemplated a new exalted march. It was not long before Bronca mastered Caridin's technique, learning how to use the Anvil of the Void to create new golems, the first in many centuries. The dwarven people greeted this news with cheers, though few knew of the cost. Initially, King Haralmot was more than willing to provide volunteers for Bronca. The golems were sorely needed to crush Balin's rebellion after all, and they did so with success. But eventually, Haralmot declared that no new dwarven souls could be used on the anvil. The unending need for golems in the Deep Roads, however, gave rise to secret surface raids to kidnap humans and elves for the Mad Paragon. When this came to light, a brief war broke out between Orzammar and Ferelden. The gates to the subterranean city were sealed, and Haralmon's kingdom became more isolated than ever. Branka insists, of course, that the raids on the surface continue. True to her word, Morgan vanished the same night she made her offer at Redcliffe Castle. Someone of Morgan's description was later seen traveling alone, heading west through the Frostback Mountains. And she may even have been with child. Whose child it might be is unknown, but some whispered that the witch was once the lover of Eterna himself. Either way, her ritual was never completed, and there was no word of her after that. The companions who had travelled with Eterna eventually scattered to the four winds, drawn either by personal duty or the call to further adventure. The Grey Wardens welcomed their hero back into the fold gladly, eager to receive a hero who faced the Archdemon and lived to pass on the knowledge. As the blighted lands began to heal and the Grey Wardens slowly rebuilt the order in Amaranthine, they discovered that the fight against the Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was routed and had dissolved upon the Archdemon's death, many of the more powerful Darkspawn survived to organize roving war bands that preyed both upon the land and upon each other. These war bands spread havoc, and some even journeyed west into Orlais or crossed the Shining Sea by the Deep Roads. They proved incredibly difficult to wipe out. But these are the tales yet to be told. This tale ended with the death of the Archdemon and the end of the Blight before it truly began. Surely Eterna would be heard from again. And scene. So that was Dragon Age in a nutshell, because there's so much lore more to it that I never got into. There's so many side quests with additional storylines, and this was just mainly just focused on the main storyline, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, there were even characters that I just didn't get around to doing because I knew it would add like 4 or 5 hours perhaps. Maybe a bit less, but it would add time to it, and this is the original story that they initially went with, so I think that it is fair to basically show this. You should know that I've mentioned it before, that there is additional DLC with separate storylines, like for example now I'm really curious for the Witch Hunt. Which basically tells the story of Morrigan between Dragon Age 1 and 2. So I'm really curious about that one. And well, I'm not sure what exactly carries over into Dragon Age 2, but I'll be sure to have this save file. So yeah, I'll play through the Witch Hunt myself. I've played through Golems of Amgarak. I've played through the Darkspawn Chronicles. I've played through Liliana's Song. I'm not sure if I'm going to play through Awakening, the expansion, between, well, basically until now, until Dragon Age 2 releases. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that, but I'll try and remember to tell you once that actually releases. I'll not be showing that one though, because it is not bad, not bad at all. It is just not as good as the original. It is an expansion after all, so it does some really cool things though. So if this at all looks interesting, you really should pick up the Dragon Age Ultimate Edition. It is very cheap, and you get so many hours of gameplay out of it. It's a crazy deal. Believe me, it is. It is a crazy cheap deal, and it's to me easily one of the best games in many years. I mean, this is actually the third time I've completed it, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm actually quite happy with all the decisions I made, apart from, well, basically all of Orzammar. um, yeah, maybe Balin is better. But that's not, you know, this is what felt right to me at the time, so obviously I'm gonna stick with that. I'm not gonna redo so many hours just to change that, no way. But yeah, supporting Heromont seemed alright to me, but no, that is an outcome I didn't really want. But yeah, I mean, all the characters, they're amazing. I really love the way they tell the story. The entire universe and world of Ferelden is great. It's really interesting, and there's so much more to it than that is shown in these videos. So, if this is interesting to you at all, really do yourself a favor and pick it up. And then you can also carry over your save into Dragon Age 2, which is a really cool thing. And now I really just want to play Dragon Age 2, to be honest. But hell, let's first hope that is any good. At that first, but it is BioWare, so I have faith. I have faith in BioWare. They've been doing well at this point. Especially with Dragon Age and then the Mass Effect games. So, yeah, bring it on. That music is kind of soft.